Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian owned, not to control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening in the replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. This is the vault, episode 400. What is this? No, actually, episode 516. Can I be the beneficiary to my government trust? This is definitely going to be one of those long awaited episodes. So many people reach out to the vault asking about their birth certificate, thinking does birth certificate authentication, does it matter? How to get my birth certificate authenticated? Does it matter if I go into this situation? And then now I'm the beneficiary to my government trust. So we're going to talk about it today. Am I the beneficiary to my government trust? Oh, really? Oh, really? They reach out to the vault. They're the beneficiary. They're looking to be the beneficiary and the trustee to the government trust. Maybe the trustee and the grantor. But nevertheless, we're going to talk about the beneficiary today. So, this is what they can reach out to the vault and say, I'm a benefit. I want to be the beneficiary of my government trust. I want to be able to get the money out of the government trust that the government's been secretly holding and growing money without me. These are the things that we hear. So this is not financial advice or legal advice. We're just giving them straight up conversations we've had with people that reach out to the vault for years now, and they say, "Oh, well, the government trust." Someone reached out. This was a wild conversation because this was somebody that's like a pastor, a pastor of a church, and they said, "Oh man, the government is not supposed to be able to give us speeding tickets and all this other stuff." And we're like, "Okay, well." What else do you think you're gonna do? Oh, we're gonna write off this. What are you gonna write off? What? Are you doing things in your name or in the entity name? But they want to be beneficiaries, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to talk about it on this episode. So appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. You got the workshop coming up there. It's going to be on September 23rd. It's going to be a 9 to 5 event. Definitely looking forward to seeing everybody there. This is going to be a good one once again. It's so funny when people reach out to the vault and they ask about our senior financial advisor, Victor. They uh, they always they question so many interesting things about him, but whether you know it or not, securities exchange licenses has had pretty much all the securities exchange licenses. Someone that has over 30 years of international trust experience, trustee experience, property experience, and once again is a private in the private deals with private and is a financial advisor dealing with has like current licenses that qualify them as a financial advisor like that you literally are called that because you have a license. So look forward to connecting with everyone in this particular episode at the workshop and as well through email for trustee training, Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, that's Christian at trustchristian.com. Can I be the beneficiary to my government trust? All right, here we go. So this is what people would say. Oh, I'm trying to capture my sestike. Here we go. Let's start out. It's a sestike. If you don't know how to spell it, we're gonna spell it for you. CESTI. And then it's a space in QE or QU. You'll be able to Google it. Appreciate Memphis, Tennessee for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate Memphis, Tennessee for tuning in live, listening to replay. So you got the Sestake Trust. Oh, that's the government trust. They created a de facto trust for me. They use these terms called de facto. Oh, really? Yeah, they created this trust for me, and so now they put some money. Where did they create money from? Where did paper come from? It was created out of thin air. It was also backed by gold in the beginning. They adopted it in the beginning in their inception, and then they let it go. They let it go. People did barter. People did use gold and silver. Those were not international barriers of exchange. They still have other monies in other countries, not one world currency. So there's other currencies in the world for a reason. It's been a great thing to have We were sitting in front of somebody yesterday. If you listen to this, please be aware. We very aware of what's going on in the world. First of all, ladies and gentlemen, when Americans talk about the United States dollar, ladies and gentlemen, it's we're gonna look it up right now on the market. Okay, there is no, oh, the dollar is trash. How is the dollar trash relative to what? Relative to other currencies? Relative to where it was in history? Oh, the dollar's trash. The dollar's at 103. It's not at an all-time high, but it's above 100. It's fine. Like, you getting good decent par value on your money right now in the states. When you travel internationally, it's still going pretty far. So we're going back to, can I be, and so Americans are the beneficiary of the United States having the exchange possibilities to where their currency goes further nominally in other jurisdictions than in whereas it would be inversely incorrect, where they come over here, they go to the states, they might not have the type of capital exchange rate as the states may have to their country, which is fine. That's the beneficiaries. Oh, I don't want to benefit from that, but people are. Can I be the beneficiary to my government trust? So they say, okay, I'm gonna go get my birth certificate, who was what was created by the government, and I'm gonna go take that. I'm gonna do all the hard work. They didn't get it authenticated. I did. I don't know when I'm gonna get recompensated for my time and energy. So we talked to someone. They said, "Oh well, can't you issue a promissory note?" We're like, "Look, why don't you talk to one of our securities exchange lawyers that we taught them about?" They reach out. Ladies and gentlemen, this thing is real out here. A promissory note. Securities are backed by value, ladies and gentlemen. They are not. They're secured and unsecured. So if it's an unsecured one, then you're having a different conversation. But if you're talking about a security, it has certain types of elements that make it valuable. And it's not just the words that's written on the paper. Oh, well, if I issue a piece of paper, it's going to have value. That's not how this works, ladies and gentlemen, because if that was the case, they wouldn't even have a securities licensing process. They have securities licensing process so people can issue registered securities properly. There are unregistered securities, but registered securities, those things are regulated. Those things follow regulations and confines. So if it's a government regulated trust, a government trust, right? A government regulated trust. Who's the trustee? Who's the beneficiary? Well, am I the beneficiary, trust, Christian, in the vault? I'm the one that's doing all the work, right? That's a good point. The government trust. Are you the trustee or the beneficiary? Well, hold up. The trustee does never have liability as far as why would the trustee be pulling in a salary? This is your estate. It's supposed to be acting as if it's a living will. Right? Right. Most people don't know how to turn their estate into a living will. But these people that are trying to do these processes think that authenticating a birth certificate is going to create this estate. Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost like when we get trustees on the line and they'll say, "Oh, I'm going private, I'm going private." Then they hear, "Well, if I stop using the social, does that mean I'm private?" For the most part, where is there any public identification for you? Oh man, the government trust though, it's got all of my previous work and labor and energy in there. Okay, did you spend it on living? There is called a thing called a cost of living. The government trust, if it's set up to take care of someone's cost of living because they're not capable, it's the same thing. The government trust is set up to take care of incapable people. This is where you do get some people that want to be snide a little bit and say, "Oh, well, in a legal dictionary it says that they're minors if they don't have the full legal capacity in which they're standing in. Do they really know the legal standing that they're standing in?" And so that's fine. We agree with that. At the same time, are you in that capacity? Or are you in the beneficiary capacity where it's, oh, well, I'm just supposed to receive something. I'm supposed to receive something from the government. I'm supposed to receive something from here. I'm supposed to receive something. See, beneficiaries are in receiving mode. They're not in doing mode. They don't do. They don't do anything. Maybe they show up to something if there's a slight obligation, but beneficiaries are usually just given things. So are you giving things or are you working for things? Because the beneficiary doesn't work. See how that works? See, if you're the beneficiary of the government trust, you don't work. Why would you be working? That's a form of these programs that allow you to not have to work and get money. Can you be the beneficiary of the government trust? Sounds like if you're in that position, you're liable. Well, what about the trustee position? Well, let's look at the trustee position for a quick second. If we didn't want the beneficiary to be the beneficiary of the government trust, you to be the beneficiary of the government trust, we want you to be the trustee either. Now, very, very general question. The question we could almost ask is, aren't the government officials the trustees of the government trust? The government officials, aren't they the trustees of the government trust? So if they're the trustees of the government trust, you're the beneficiary. Not just the grantor, the beneficiary. That's how that works. Oh, well, can I be the grantor and the beneficiary? There would be no trust if it wasn't for me. Fair enough, but it's also something that you can take off record. You don't have to keep it on record. That's very clear and evident. That's not a have to. Those are things that say what makes you have to go public and what makes you have to go private, or what keeps you public and what keeps you private. Those are the simple decisions right there. If you're the beneficiary, how are you going private? You're benefiting from staying in the public, from the government trust. The government trust is the public trust. So appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listening to replay. It's Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, it's Christian at trustchristian.com. We got a bunch of people registered for the next workshop already. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Uh, Look forward to connecting with anyone that's looking to come to the workshop. We have been doing pre-event consultations. They worked out really well with this session as well. So we definitely look forward to connecting with people at the workshop. Once again, it's Christian at trustchristian.com. Once again, it's Christian at trustchristian.com. Can I be the beneficiary of my government trust? Beneficiaries are traditionally liable. Period. That's it. They're usually liable. Peace and joy.